It is always important, to understand what our forefathers, did in the past, and only that is what we are practicing now. Same way, how it all started. The Six Sigma was started from a company called Motorola, and in 1980s, in fact, at some point of time, Motorola were, the Americans were advising Japanese, but later the Japanese picked up, and the Americans started, lagging in terms of producing quality products and offering services. So a similar experience happened with for Motorola. In 1980s, Motorola was manufacturing televisions in the brand name of Cuser, but they were experiencing a lot of quality issues, and that means after selling the product to the customer, the products were failing. The products were failing in the hands of the customer, and in Six Sigma we call it an external failure. Why do we call it external failure? Customer has detected the failure and not you, right? And why the external failure happened? Because you have not detected it, so customer has detected it, right? It is very obvious, right? If you don't do something, then no, the immediate next one, the follower will do it. And similarly, if you don't detect the failure internally, the same failure will be detected externally, and that will damage your name. That can even kill your business, right? And this is what started happening for Motorola. There were a lot of complaints, so there were a lot of claims. In fact, there were a lot of warranty claims, because television sets comes with some warranty, isn't it? So the products were failing well before the warranty period, and as a result, Motorola is not able to, sustain their profits. In fact, they were incurring a huge loss, and they decided to sell the brand. And the brand was sold to a Japanese firm, and they took over the Cuser brand. You know what they did first? They focused on reducing the internal failure. That is the big mistake which Motorola did not do. Since they didn't have a mechanism to monitor and control the internal failure, the external failures were happening. But this Japanese firm, no, they were very clever, and they had a mechanism to monitor as well as control the internal failure. Now the advantage is, if you control the internal failure, you know what will happen? Your external failure will come down drastically. It exactly happened, with the Japanese firm, and as a result, the same product, the same brand, started performing very well, and a lot of people enjoyed using the Cuser televisions, and the business picked up like anything. And seeing the success of the Cuser with the hands of the Japanese firm, the Motorola's then CEO, you are seeing him second in the picture, Robert Bob Galvin. So he understood one thing: problem is not only with the product quality, it is also due to our approach towards quality, right? And he realized that, and then he called all his executives and challenged them, and saying that you're responsible for growing our company 10 times in the next 5 years. I don't know what will you do. Like how all of us are discussing today. And Bob Galvin was telling the exact statement to his executive, and the responsibility was given to these two gentlemen. First person, Bill Smith, who is an engineer by profession, and this person, Dr. Michael Harry, who is a statistician by profession. And both of them were given the responsibility. You know what they did? They developed a statistical metric-based approach. Why suddenly statistics? Statistics is nothing but dealing with the numbers, or understanding, the performance using numbers. For example, now how is this meeting going on? Some numbers are important. How many participants are attending? How long is the meeting? How many questions are asked? How many are happy by attending the program? How many are not happy? So the numbers can only throw light whenever you lag in terms of what is the information about what is happening. The same situation were existing in Motorola, right? They really do not know where the failure happens and what is the root cause. There were complete darkness, and that's why these two developed a statistical metric based system, KPIs and metrics. key performance indicators and metrics. Hope all of you are using it. What is the difference between KPI and metric? Both are numbers. KPI tells you, are you really progressing towards the goal? Are you really able to achieve the goal or not? How do you know? By looking at the metric called KPI. But there are some other numbers, we call them as only metrics, not KPIs, which will let us understand whether we are running the process properly or not. Only when you run the process properly, your KPIs will improve and approach, the target. Otherwise, what will happen? The KPI may start moving backward. So every KPI is a metric, but not every metric is a KPI, right? So they developed this kind of number-based monitoring mechanism. Like, how do you see the dashboard in your car? They have created a dashboard for the entire company, right? And using the dashboard, they started understanding everything that is happening in the company Motorola on a day-to-day basis. And also, they know in the initial stages, failures are definitely possible. And so they developed a failure resolving mechanism or a failure resolving methodology. And it was a 4-phase methodology, MAIC, where M stands for measure, A stands for analyze, I stands for improve, and C stands for control. What gets measured gets improved. If you can't measure something, you can't improve, isn't it? If you are not able to measure, it is very evident that you have not understood the problem. And if you can't express something in the form of a number, and it is again evident that you really do not know what are you doing, isn't it? So it's very, very important you are able to express everything you are doing in the form of a number. And so that's why they started with measure, analyze, improve, and control. And this 4-phase methodology is nothing but solving the problem at the root. And they named this methodology as Six Sigma. Why is it Six Sigma? Again, it is based on statistics. You will gain the full clarity only tomorrow because you need to build some basics, build some statistics, right? And it is named as Six Sigma because when you raise the process to a better capability, when you improve the capability of a process to a level called Six Sigma, your process will start producing defect-free outputs. Or other words, if you produce 1 million output, there will be only 3.4 defects possible. So this 3.4 defects per million opportunities or million outputs is set as a benchmark by Bill Smith and Michael Harry, and everyone in the organization is motivated to achieve this benchmark. And they named this methodology as Six Sigma. And the exact meaning of Six Sigma is the distance between the position of the center of your process and the nearest specification limit. You might find it difficult to understand this particular statement, but it will become crystal clear by attending tomorrow's session. So what is Six Sigma? The distance between your process center and the nearest specification limit. If it is equal to Six Sigma, your process will start producing defect-free products, right? And we'll see it. We will see how it is tomorrow. And as a result of this initiative, within next 10 years, Motorola made a saving of $16 billion. The $16 billion is not a small money that time, even today, right? So that's the kind of impact the Six Sigma methodology and this approach towards quality improvement achieved in Motorola. And as a result, Motorola was awarded Malcolm Baldrige as well as the National Quality Award. And seeing the success of Motorola, every company started adopting. And today you name the big brand, definitely they have become a big brand. It is purely because of their Lean and Six Sigma practices, definitely. So that means if all of you embrace Lean and Six Sigma, you are also going to be a bigger brand very soon. Like companies like General Electric and Allied Signal, General Motors, Ford, right? And American Express Bank, And there are many, many examples. You can name Xerox and every company. So, but what happened in 1995 when General Electric implemented Six Sigma, they converted the methodology from 4-step to 5-step, or otherwise 4-phase to 5-phase. Because General Electric CEO Jack Welch, he thought that defining the problem is essential before trying to measure the problem. So he added D in front of Mac, and that's how in 1995 the Six Sigma methodology became 5-phase methodology called DMAC, and it remained the same for the last 2 to 3 decades. And then companies were enjoying, using the DMAC methodology in getting their problems solved. That's it. So this is about brief history about Six Sigma, and then later
Sir, I
lean.
had one query.
Yes, please.
They had named Six Sigma, means why six specifically, or Sigma means any relevant data, sir? Why they have?
Yeah, I told you I need to build some basics in you to help you understand, the meaning of the number 6 as well as 6, right? As well as sigma. But having asked the question, sigma means standard deviation.
Okay, sir.
Sigma means standard deviation. 6 means the number of standard deviation you can have between the process center and the nearest specification limit. If you can place 6 standard deviation between process center and nearest spec, then your process is Six Sigma. So I will be explaining you what is specification limit, what is the meaning of process center, what is the meaning of Sigma, then you will be able to better appreciate, right? So
Okay,
wait
sir.
for
Thank
it
you.
and that will happen. It's a
Okay, sir.
good
Thank you.
question. But anyway, I will reserve answering this question slightly at a later stage. And now let me help you understand belt level. And these belt levels are introduced by Michael Harry of Motorola, because it is not that easy for somebody to participate in a methodology developed by the organization DMAC. So you have to be trained first of all, then only you can participate in the project. So training is required, and then there are different levels because it involves statistics also. And Six Sigma is basically it's a integration of many principles and philosophies. The philosophy of Edward Deming, Joseph Juran, Walter Sheward, and the statistical process control and all that were mixed together. And in fact, particularly the normal distribution concept and all that were mixed together. And that's how it is, the Six Sigma methodology evolved. So for somebody to participate in a project, he should master the principles behind quality, Six Sigma methodology, and learn some statistical tools, without which he will not be able to contribute to the success of the project. So belt levels are created by Michael Harry, and the first lowermost level is white belt. This is what all of you are going to achieve tomorrow, right? And white belt means basic understanding about Six Sigma. You know the importance of learning Six Sigma for your personal success, for your professional success, as well as for your for the success of your organization. If you are able to appreciate that Lean Six Sigma can be helpful in your personal life, professional life, as well as can be helpful for the success of your organization, you are a white belt. When somebody will become a supporter and believer of something, only when he is equipped with adequate knowledge. And that is what I am going to do it today and tomorrow. And thereby I will see to that each one of you become a supporter of Lean Six Sigma strategy, right? It doesn't mean that you can immediately participate in a project and then produce magical result. If you really wanted to be part of the Six Sigma project, you have to graduate yourself to the next level. The immediate next level is called yellow belt, where white belt is just 1 hour training generally, but here at Vision Excellence it is 4 hours. Today 2 hours and tomorrow 2 hours. You can understand the kind of value you are getting as a white belt. And same way, yellow belt means generally 1 day to 2 days training program, whereby you will understand the importance of the principles, particularly the DMAC methodology, particularly the importance of statistics, most importantly, the importance of data. Unless and until somebody knows the importance of the data, he will not collect the data correctly. For example, suppose if you ask me for a consulting assignment in your company, and when I come, and then if some data is required, Do you think all your colleagues will give me the appropriate data? No. If you load them with some work and then they will finish it quickly and then hand over something, the data may be unreliable. So such data are unworthy for any analysis. So it is very important you train people, at least whoever involved in the project should be trained to understand why are we going through the methodology. Why are we collecting the data? What is the significance of collecting the data without error? Unless and until he is convinced about all these points, and nobody will collect the data sincerely. So you see to that everybody involved in any project are trying to become at least yellow belt so that they can assist you properly. For example, you need to collect data from other department. Do you think they will give you the appropriate data? Project is yours, but data is required from them. Unless and until the fellow in the other department is in yellow belt, he will not understand what are you trying to do. And so an yellow belt means he knows the significance of what you are trying to do and the DMAC methodology, and particularly the role of data in your analysis. So yellow belts can assist green belts in the project. So if you want to be, an effective team member, or you want to lead the project team, you must rise to the next level, which is a green belt. And now you are effective team member, and now you can lead green belt projects. When I say green belt project, what is it? A project having the scope limited to the specific department you are working. You are an engineer in a shop floor, then your project should be defect reduction only in the shop floor. Now, don't worry about what is happening in the assembly. Don't worry about what is happening in the packing. Don't worry about what is happening in the dispatch. It's not your scope. What is your scope? Only manufacturing. And you are a cashier in a bank. And now cash disbursement and cash collection is your scope, right? And you need to identify the project necessarily within the department which comes under your scope. Because when you involve multiple departments, the project will become a cross-functional project. That means the project will become a complex project, and that is generally a role of a black belt, right? So green belt means only limitation is project scope should be limited to the specific department you belong to, right? If you are in supply chain, then worry about only the problems in the supply chain. Don't worry about what is happening in the manufacturing. Suppose if you are a marketing guy, worry only about the marketing, right? Don't worry about the other things. And it is something like that. Now, a black belt. A black belt can handle cross-functional project. You already know the meaning of cross-functional. Even if the project is complex, he will be able to solve the problem effectively because he will be equipped with even advanced statistical tools and techniques, right? And so a black belt is empowered to handle even cross-functional project, guide the green belts and the team members in the project. And a black belt is generally 1 out of 200 in any organization, a general proportion, an average proportion. And green belt can be considered to be 1 out of 100. And try to be that 1 out of the 100, try to be that 1 out of the 200, right? In your organization, that means you are accelerating your career growth. And it's not the end. You still have one more level up, which is master black belt. And a master black belt is an employee or a person who will work closely with the top management, and he is the person who will train and coach the black belts and the green belts in the organization. Generally, an organization having even thousands of employees will have only 1 or 2 master black belt. And these 1 or 2 master black belts will take care of the training requirements of the entire company, because all the black belts and green belts can be produced by him, and all the training requirements of the company is observed by the master black belt. Imagine if you are such person in your company. Imagine your role, your designation, your compensation. Definitely everything will be way beyond your expectation, right? And it is the master black belt generally develop the KPIs and metric for the organization, like how the dashboards are created in a car. When you are driving the car, what is the mileage your car is giving, what is the fuel available, what is the speed with which you are going, what is the tire pressure, what is the cabin pressure, and everything is, appears, so that you get to understand how are you driving. So you can try to optimize and you can produce better performance. Same way, whether your organization, how is it performing? Some KPIs or metrics are required. And those metrics will be developed by the master black belt. Thereby, the master black belt will ensure your organization drives in the correct strategic direction, right? And there are a few more roles, champions and sponsors. Who are these? Project is never an individual activity. Many projects fail because somebody, thinks that only he can do it. And definitely the project will be a flop, project will be a failure. Projects are always teamwork, right? And so there will be a project leader, there will be project team members, and there will be a project sponsor. Who is a project sponsor? One who can approve your project, because for executing your project, I mean the improvement project, some resources are required. An approval is required, without which you can't do a project, isn't it? So the person who has the authority to approve the project, and thereby, resources can be allocated to you. Resources can be money, can be machine, can be people, can be time, everything, comes under. So whose job it is? Project sponsor. And project sponsor is generally another part of the top management, and he may not be able to devote his entire time or the required time for the project team, and so he will generally nominate another person called the project champion, who will liaison between the project sponsor and the project team, and thereby the resources as per the approval will be allotted to the team, will be provided to the team. And then if there are any roadblocks, any stoppages the team is coming across, and that will be removed by the project champion. So these kind of infrastructure will make sure the project team stays motivated throughout the project period and ensure the success is achieved. So make sure you do create such an infrastructure whenever you are doing any project. And that is why the methodology is very powerful, very really powerful if understood and implemented diligently. Hope it is clear. And the yellow belt